Damit, und damit herzlich willkommen. Soll wie gesagt ziemlich geil sein, was ich auch hoffe. Ähm, Ich muss allerdings jetzt erstmal alles einstellen, wie immer, wisst ihr ja. Dazu muss ich einmal auf Twitch gehen. Na das. Dann hoffe ich auf jeden Fall, dass man mich laut genug hört. So. Wechsel. In Game. So. Ey. So, dann fangen wir mal an, wa?
A lot of this isn't going to make sense to you, and I'm sorry about that. I'm just going to start at the beginning, with the house.
Wait, ich glaube, ich habe das Spiel schon mal irgendwo gesehen.
I lived here until I was 11, but I wasn't allowed inside half the rooms.
Kann ich das, kann ich das benutzen? Ah, mit R2.
Inside the mailbox were bills from 7 years ago, marked urgent, open immediately.
Tja. Fühle ich aber.
I hadn't been back since my brother Lewis's funeral. In her will, my mother left me a key, but didn't tell me what it unlocked. Maybe she thought I'd know. Or she thought that the mystery would be enough to bring me back.
The Finchers. Wait, ging's da nicht auch noch lang? Okay. Also, wir können da runter. Aber ich glaube, wir sollten es nicht. Ich glaube, wir gehen erstmal den Weg hier lang. Ich finde,
No one had driven this way in a long time, but I saw a few hoof prints.
ich finde, die Gehgeräusche sind viel zu schnell.
The truth is, even after I inherited the house, I never thought I'd come back to it. But now I had questions about my family that only the house knew the answers to. The house was exactly like I remembered it, the way I'd been dreaming about it.
Okay, ich frage mich jetzt aber, was da unten gegeben hätte.
As a child, the house made me uncomfortable in a way I couldn't put into words. Now, as a 17-year-old, I knew exactly what those words were. I was afraid of the house.
Ja, fühle ich auch irgendwie.
Crawling through the doggy door used to be a lot easier when I was 11.
Okay, aber ich glaube nicht, dass es der Hauptweg war. Eine Werkbank, Fahrräder, eine ganz normale Garage.
For the first time in years, I felt like I was home. But instead of a family, there were just memories of one. The table was still a wreck from the night we left.
Okay, wir haben also alles zurückgelassen auf einmal. Sieht aber auch so aus. Hier war Eddie.
It was like a bomb had gone off, killing everyone but sparing the furniture.
Ja, irgendwie schon.
My mom was the only one of us who could imagine Great-Grandma Edie living in a nursing home. Nothing in the house looked abnormal. There was just too much of it, like a smile with too many teeth.
Nicer Vergleich.
Even the fireplace had a story. Edie told me the bricks came from the original house, after it sank.
Mhm. Kann ich hier raus? Nee, ne?
Great Grandpa Sven built a music box for Barbara, along with the rest of the house. Mom always told me to stay out of the basement, so I wasn't too surprised when the key didn't fit.
Hört sich an nach einem Zug. Aber warum kommt ein Zug aus der Luft ab Dingenskirchen? Mein Gott.
Only one restaurant would deliver to our house. We had Chinese a
Luftabzugshaube.
lot.
Lebt der Kühlschrank?
After Louis started working at the cannery, we all got pretty sick of salmon. Except our cat, Molly. Edie told me once that every Finch who ever lived is buried somewhere in the library. After Milton disappeared, Mom sealed up all the bedrooms. Then Edie retaliated and drilled peepholes.
Stark.
I spent a lot of time playing in Great Uncle Walter's room. I think my mom sometimes regretted not sealing it up.
Mhm.
Louis told me there were secret passages, but I never believed him. Turns out, my mom was really good at keeping secrets. Now it was time to find out what my mom had been afraid of.
Gleich. Erstmal gucken, ob es hier noch was gibt.
Molly always seemed like a girl I could imagine being friends with, if she hadn't died in 1947.
Oh.
The last time I was in Edith Sr.'s room, I was 10 and she was painting my portrait. My Grandpa Sam spent 7 years sharing a room with his dead brother, Calvin.
Mhm. Ich will gar nicht so viel reden, ne? Ja, die redet halt die ganze Zeit. Ist halt auch gut. So bleibt
As a
spannend,
kid,
ne?
I just assumed every house had peepholes and sealed rooms you weren't allowed inside of.
Wait. Warum ist denn das Klo versiegelt? Gregory hatte einfach ein Klo als Zimmer. Klo im Zimmer, eher gesagt.
this, maybe it sounds like I had a plan. But I had no idea what was behind that door. Just like I had no idea where all this was gonna lead.
Molly Finch.
December 13th, 1947. Dear Diary, I'll be gone soon, but I wanted to tell somebody about what's gonna happen. It started when Mom sent me to bed without dinner. I woke up and I was starving, so I looked around for something to eat.
Oh. Ich liebe solche Spiele, aber ich hasse sie auch so sehr.
The gerbil food was dry, but I didn't mind it.
Ich dachte schon daran.
I kept eating and eating.
Aber warum geht sie denn nicht einfach runter oder zum Kühlschrank? Und warum laden hier manche Sachen einfach nicht? Nein, die darfst du nicht essen. Die darfst du nicht essen. Hör auf, Spiel. Trink lieber Klowasser, selbst das ist gesünder. Ich will das nicht essen. Es muss hier doch irgendwo einen anderen Weg geben. Okay.
Mom, can I come out now?
Sweetheart, it's late. Go to sleep.
Wir werden einfach eingesperrt zum Schlafen. Nun.
I ate a lot of things that night.
Okay, noch passiert nichts.
Then I heard chirping outside my window. It was a barn swallow going back to her nest. I reached out for her. And suddenly, I was a cat. I tried to be quiet, but the bird was really scared. Mom and Dad didn't even look at me. I jumped and I almost got her. I I could tell she was getting really tired.
Wo ist der Vogel?
Now I was up in the big tree. I promised Dad I wouldn't climb it anymore. All I cared about was eating that mama bird. I gobbled her up. And suddenly, I was an owl. First, all I heard was the wind. Then I heard little teeth nibbling in the grass. Rabbits. His face looking up and seeing mine through my talons. I swallowed him up, and I didn't chew one bit. Then I flew off to find something bigger. A mama rabbit. She was almost too big to carry. I started choking, but I couldn't stop eating. And suddenly, I was a shark. I rolled off the cliff and into the ocean. Now, I was hungrier than ever. I wanted fat, juicy seals. I tore off her flipper, and it tasted really good. Grabbed on tight. When I was so hungry, I jumped out of the water. When I opened my eyes, everything had changed. Now I was a monster, and I smelled people everywhere. I was big, but I mean real quiet. I wanted to stop, but also I didn't. After the last passenger, I was still hungry. And across the water, I smelled something new. Something I had to have, so I swam towards it. I slithered onto the sand, and the good smell went into an old pipe. I got closer and closer. All of my stomach started growling. And suddenly, I was me again. I held my breath for a long time, but I couldn't hear anything. I think it's waiting for me to fall asleep. But it's not going to wait much longer. It needs to be, and we both know I will be delicious.
I'm not sure if I believed all of that, but I'm sure Edie would have.
Holy shit. Das geht jetzt schon mal echt gut los. Das geht ja echt gut los, ey. Ja, ja.
I can't describe it, but I felt like some part of Molly was still here.
Vielleicht ist ihr Geist ja noch da.
I grew up looking at Molly's room through the peephole. Being inside for the first time, I felt like I'd stepped behind a painting.
Vielleicht ist ja was in deinem Gemälde. Alex, du hast gerade was sehr Tolles verpasst. Ich habe das Spiel tatsächlich schon mal gesehen, aber nur einen Teil. Anscheinend, das ist mir dann aufgefallen. Aber du hast leider den ziemlich geilen Anfang verpasst, aber das wird natürlich noch heftiger.
Molly's gerbil had a tiny bedroom with its own even tinier gerbil cage.
Ist doch gar nicht so unbekannt, das Spiel. Kann ich da lang? Nee.
This will be obvious later, but my mom never told me any of these stories. Edie would have, but Mom didn't like bringing up the past. Though, when we adopted a stray kitten, she was the one who named it Molly. I spent a lot of time in Great-Grandma Edie's room.
Ja, ne? Ist auch gerade wirklich eine sehr, sehr schöne Story verpasst. Das war ja erst der Anfang.
Her room was like a museum.
Aber auch sehr traurig.
For 500 years, the Finches have been famous throughout Norway for their fortune and misfortune. Odin Finch buries the latest victims of the family curse, his wife Ingeborg and their newborn son, Johann.
Johann.
On January 7th, 1937, he set sail with his family and his house, hoping to leave the curse behind. But 40-foot waves off the coast of Washington send the house and Odin to the bottom of the sea. Odin's daughter Edie, with husband Sven and baby Molly, step ashore on their new home, Orcas Island. Odin Finch is the first to be buried in the new family cemetery. His daughter Edie is already dreaming of a new Finch house.
Okay, das war's. Ich werde hier nicht so viel reden.
Whatever's wrong with this family, it goes back a long ways.
Wir füllen quasi, wie du siehst, wir füllen quasi den Stammbaum aus. Den Familienstammbaum. Versuchen über jeden in der Familie was rauszufinden. Molly war die erste, die unten links. Die oben, die Edith, sind wir. Und Molly ist halt leider... Wir haben halt gerade gesehen in der sehr geilen Story, wie sie halt draufgegangen ist. Sie ist halt 10 Jahre alt geworden nur. Ja. Und er ist 57 Jahre alt geworden. Oh.
Even in her 90s, sometimes Edie seemed a lot younger than my mother. When Edie told people Sven was killed by a dragon, she could also have said he was building a dragon-shaped slide that collapsed. She could have, but she didn't.
Was? Als ob. Als ob jemand durch die Rutsche draufgegangen ist. Strength Finch Family Celebration turns to. Okay, krass. Gebaut 1937.
One summer, they evacuated the island, but Edie refused to go. For a few weeks, she was a celebrity.
Mhm. Das war der Forest-Fire. Aha.
I hadn't thought of myself as Edith Jr. for a long, long time. Edie gave a big interview about a mole man living under the Finch house. My mom was furious.
So. Was ist das hier? Vogelkäfige? Nee, keine Vogel. Doch. Oha. Ich kann mich leider nicht hinhocken. Lurphy, 11 Jahre. Purpley, 6 Jahre. Das kann ich nicht erkennen. Warum steht hier überall kein Datum? Überhaupt die Schlange 1980 bis 84, glaube ich. Und Burfi 1940 bis 48, keine Ahnung. Ah, hier sind wir reingekommen. Mhm. Wir hatten alle ein eigenes Klo.
The only trace Grandpa Sam's first wife Kay left on the house was the pink bathroom.
Ja gut.
It was a pretty big trace.
Wenn man es kann, ne? Ne, gibt's hier glaube ich auch gar nicht.
Louis died a week before we left, but Edie had already started to memorialize him.
So, als ob sie es wusste. Oder wie soll ich das verstehen? Wait. Wo müssen wir denn lang? Gibt's hier noch was? Ah, ein Schlüssel. Warum muss sie denn auf das Klo klettern? Wie klein ist die bitte? Sorry, aber wie... Hä?
There's a secret in this bathroom. It's in the last place you would look. It isn't in the cupboard. It's hidden in this book.
Cool.
Sven gave Sam an old camera he'd refurbished. He never put it down. From the paintings on the wall, it was clear my brother Milton had been here before me.
Ja, wie gesagt, ich werde nicht so viel reden, weil sie redet erstens die ganze Zeit und ich glaube, das nimmt ein bisschen die Spannung weg. Ich werde jetzt nur ganz selten reden immer. Zum Beispiel in solchen Momenten, wo die halt nicht redet. High School. Samuel Finch. Aha.
I knew Grandpa Sam had a twin. And that he never talked about him. I guess my grandpa didn't like history any more than my mom did.
Warum? Hey, so falsch an der Mom.
How I Want to Remember My Brother by Sam Finch. The thing I remember is that when he made up his mind, that was it.
Oh nein.
My brother said he'd die before he ate another mushroom. And he did. At Barbara's funeral, he swore he'd never be afraid again. And he wasn't. I think Calvin always wanted to fly.
Oh, aber Calvin wollte immer fliegen.
Calvin, dinner's ready.
Coming!
But that day, he finally made up his mind to do it. I told him going around was impossible. Maybe if I hadn't said that,
Calvin, I'm not gonna tell you again.
maybe if the wind hadn't picked up, then maybe he'd still be here. But I doubt it. I think he'd already made up his mind. That's what I want to remember about my brother. The day he made up his mind to fly. And he did.
Calvin's story felt strangely familiar. When I was younger, I remember trying to do the exact same thing.
Wie gesagt, ich hasse dieses Spiel, aber ich liebe es auch. Elf Jahre alt.
After the funeral, Edie roped off Calvin's half of the room.
Wait. Das übersehe ich wieder.
Mom said Grandpa Sam enlisted at 18 and never set foot in the room again. The passages were a pretty tight fit. They'd obviously been built for smaller hands and bellies.
Ich gehe erstmal weiter. Ich weiß immer nicht, kann man da und da noch hin? Okay, ich kann dann wieder zurück.
Mom must have locked the third floor stairs on the night we left. Barbara was a child star for 2 years, until America grew out of it.
Die Arme.
Edie's father, Odin, built the original house. Whenever people ask me about my family, the first thing they always want to know about is Barbara.
Okay, warte mal, wir sind wieder hier.
Growing up, I always thought of Barbara as a child star.
Ach so,
I never thought about how hard it must have been for her afterwards.
na was?
Of all the stories people wrote about Barbara's death, I'm surprised Edie saved this one.
Old Jack here with another ghastly tale inspired by America's most unfortunate family. I'm calling it The Surprise Ending of Barbara Finch. As a child star, Barbara was famous for her scream. Now at 16, she was all washed up. A has-been. But in a lucky break, she'd been asked to perform her signature scream at a local convention for monster movie fans. It was just the boost her career needed. Unfortunately, her scream hadn't aged well.
Getting better. I think you just need the right motivation.
Her biggest fan and current boyfriend, Rick, was about to demonstrate when...
Now that was a great scream.
It was Barbara's father, Sven. He'd slipped into a table saw and had to be rushed to the emergency room. So Barbara got stuck babysitting her youngest brother, Walter. Her convention comeback was cancelled.
Okay, I'm hearing frustration, but I'm not hearing terror. What if I tried...
A gang of hoodlums in Halloween masks have been terrorizing Orcas Island tonight. Police are urging residents to...
That came from the basement.
You're right! Also, I loved your delivery on that. Why is your basement door locked?
Because my dad likes making puzzles and secret passages. There's a key hidden in the music box. The secret is to keep winding and winding until finally the key pops out.
Thanks, babe.
Yeah,
I'll be back in a sec.
20 minutes later, Rick hadn't returned. So Barbara went to look for him, right on cue. She reached for the music box. And as she wound the key, she listened for Rick, but the house was silent. She found Rick's crutch and imagined the worst.
Ja, erstmal alles kaputt hauen. Warum? Ich will einen reinmachen. Boah, warte mal, ob es ein Achievement gibt. Wenn ich alle reinmache. Komm, geh rein. Komm, 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 komm. Yes. Komm. Nice. Ah, come on. Es gibt doch bestimmt ein Achievement dafür, oder? Was geschafft? Ja, Trophäe erhalten, räume den Tisch. Ich wusste es. Alles kaputt hauen. Für meinen Freund wieder. Okay, wir gehen mal weiter. Müssen ja ernst bleiben, ne? Das ist eine ernste Sache.
The gang's leader is the infamous Hookman killer, Dr. Carl Hamill, who impaled and then ate his family 10 years ago tonight.
Weil ich sehe nichts. Bin in den Backrooms gelandet.
The old fridge rattled and grew still.
Okay, ich kann jetzt nirgendwo anders mehr hin.
Oh dear! Rick?
Barb, relax. I was just trying to scare you to help you find your screen.
Well, I'm not scared, Rick. I'm furious.
Then act furious. All I'm getting from you now is that you're hurt and confused and you're...
She threw him out, but she kept a little something to remember him by.
Barb, have you seen my other crutch?
And she was still holding it when she fell asleep watching the late picture show. Hours later...
Barbara! Walter, what's going on up there? Ah! Okay, I'm coming up, but if this is a trick, you're dead, Walter.
Come on, Lampe kaputt hauen. Oder Fernseher. Ich will es nur ausprobieren, ja?
Walter, are you there?
Walter vanished, but his bedside radio was still on.
Orcas Island police describe the man as 6 feet tall, with a steel hook for a hand. Residents are urged to lock all doors and windows and notify the police of any suspicious activity.
Barbara turned, saw the hook man, and was speechless. He was quite smashing. And lying he was. He couldn't get enough of Barbara.
Okay, Barbara, there's gotta be another way out of here.
That night, she played her part beautifully. She thought about abandoning Walter, but just couldn't do it. Molly's door hadn't been opened in years. The hinges groaned. He wasn't moving, but she sensed the story might not be over yet.
Lauf schneller, tritt in die Krücke noch ein paar Mal ins Gesicht, bitte. Ich wusste es.
The hookman had vanished. She listened for his breathing, But all she heard was... At the door, she heard whispering. It was coming from inside the house.
Oh dear.
The monsters had come to surprise her. For Barbara, it was a dream come true. Then she saw what kind of monsters they were, and she realized what was about to happen. She was going to be famous. And with her final breath, Barbara Finch gave the performance of her life. I wasn't there myself, but I hear Barbara was magnificent. Poor girl. She had a taste for stardom. But unfortunately, so did her fans. Of course, the police blamed it all on poor Rick, who disappeared the same night. And little Walter? Hiding under his bed the whole time. He took it all pretty hard, but that's another story. As for Barbara, tucked inside the music box is all they ever found of her. Her ear. Now that's what I call a real eerie tale.
Edie told me all Barbara wanted was to be remembered, as absurd as that comic was. Maybe what Edie saw was a happy ending.
Okay. Ja, gut. Was soll man sagen, ne? Sei noch da, Alex? Cool. Wie findest du das Spiel bis jetzt? Ja, ne? Du bist ein Löwe. Meine Katze legt die ganze Zeit auf mir drauf. Das macht Haya bei mir, aber die soll jetzt runtergehen. Weil ich möchte gerne meinen Laptop jetzt anschließen und mit Twitch verbinden. So. Ich mach mal kurz eine Pause. Ich rauche mal kurz eine und mach das mit Twitch kurz auf dem Laptop. Ist hier irgendwo ein Fenster, wo man rausschauen kann? Nee. Naja. So. Vielleicht ein Passwort mal bitte eingeben. Okay. So. 2000 Euro eigentlich jetzt. Mann. Manchmal funktioniert mein Laptop, manchmal auch halt einfach nicht. So, einmal auf meinen Kanal gehen. Bisschen schneller. Einmal die Mod-Einsicht an. Kann ich auch mein Handy auch endlich mal ausmachen. Can ring right now. Ja, und die Nachricht auch immer 1000 Minuten zu spät. Ey. So, okay. Dann rauche ich mal kurz ein. Nee. Dann geht's gleich weiter. Cult of Sharks. Das ist über. Trapsend. Mann. Ob ich den Algorithmus genauso pushen kann wie auf Insta? Wenn ich das so mache wie auf Insta? Das ist natürlich die Frage. Ich will mal kurz auf Insta einen Beitrag hochladen. Auf einer anderen Seite von mir. Hä? Ach so. True, true. Du, 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 du. So, mal schauen, ob ich das um 19 Uhr nicht schon zu spät ist. kann ich manchmal nur 4 machen. Das macht überhaupt keinen Sinn. Erstmal Algorithmus pushen. Ich will keine Umfrage starten. Hau mal ab. Was ich sehen. Das macht was mit dir. Und Carsten Stahl. Ja, dieses Profilbild von mir. So, falscher Account. Ist unverhandelbar. Hallo, Katze, geh! Hallo, Katze, geh! Oh! Oh mein Gott! Geh raus! Ich höre mich doppelt. Sag doch, dass ich mich am Laptop höre. Ich muss mein Stream am Laptop mal stumm schalten. So. Einfach nicht fragen. So. Hä? Ach, Kacke. Ich habe vergessen, was einzustellen. Jetzt sieht mein Status jeder, der es eigentlich nicht sehen sollte. Und nicht jeder, der es sehen sollte. Never mind. Für dieses Auto steht. Ich finde das voll kacke jetzt mit den Starten. Richtig kacke gemacht, um early zu sein. So. Es geht sofort weiter. Voll kalt, Alter. Warum ist das so kalt? Mach mal kurz ein Fenster zu. Eins und zwei Fenster. bis jetzt 31 Jahren. Nevermind. Nevermind. Ohne Moin kein Moin. Würde ich mal so sagen. Wait, kann ich meine Dailies eigentlich holen? Daily Rewards. Cooldown noch Stunde 25. Okay. Los, geht weiter, würde ich mal sagen. Würde ich mal so behaupten. Kann ich hier nicht... Ich muss mal kurz... Oh shit. Wo kann ich das denn hier einstellen? Aktivitätsfeed? Nee. Flüstern? Nee. Belohnungsabfragen? Nee. Vielleicht Benutzeraktivität. Sperre, Vorhersagen. Badge. Widgets, Kanalseite. Sieht man hier irgendwo, was meine Stream-Kategorie ist? Ich würde mich mal fragen, wie man das ändern kann zu zum Beispiel Just Chatting oder so. Das frage ich mich gerade. Für Modus, Chat, Markierungen, Mod-Symbole anzeigen, Chat aussehen, bla bla bla. Mach nochmal Twitch. Twitch. Warte mal. Ein von einem Mod inaktiv. Ja gut, mein Bruder ist Mod hier, aber der schaut halt nie rein. Stopp. Hier Kanal. Kann ich das hier rüber ändern? Stream melden. Nee. Deswegen wurde Max wahrscheinlich. Hey, was ist das denn in meiner Beschreibung? Liebe da und it. Irgendwie so ein Ding 3. Lol. Lul. Omega lul. Community. Chat-Einstellungen. Nicht Mod-Einstellungen wechseln. Abwehrmodus, Chat, jetzt ansehen. Nee. Nee. Wie kann man das denn ändern? Was denn, wenn ich hier aufrege? Schulkorre bei bestimmten Regeln beim Fieber annehmen. Verstanden. Ich weiß nicht, wie ich das ändern kann. Das ist ja nicht die Panels bearbeiten. Okay, keine Ahnung. Muss ich irgendwann mal anders gucken. Irgendwann anders. Warte mal. Nee, keine Ahnung. Dann spiele ich jetzt weiter. Ich mache aber meinen Sound mal aus auf dem Laptop, nicht dass gleich noch irgendwelche Sounds dazwischen kommen. Ist natürlich nicht so optimal. Taskmanager öffnen, danke. Discord einmal beenden. Dann refresh ich mal. Sekunde. Warte, muss mit. Du hast einfach schon 236 Nachrichten hier in den Chat geschrieben gesamt. Wow, du hast dein Konto am 22. September erst erstellt und du folgst mir einfach direkt. Du hast hier jetzt nur Twitch wegen mir jetzt erstellt, neu oder was? Ich kann dich Timeout setzen. Alex sperren, Alex melden. Ich kann dir flüstern. Was kann ich noch machen? Ah, hier kann ich dir auch Mod geben. Aha. Nee, ich geb dir keinen Mod. Es bringt halt auch noch nichts, einen Mod zu haben, weil ich habe ja eh nur einen Menschen oder zwei im Chat normalerweise. Vielleicht irgendwann, wenn ich mehr Fame habe. Der einzige Mod, den ich habe, ist halt mein Bruder. Das ist auch nur, weil ich auch Mod in seinem Chat bin. Bei Kick. Er streamt ja nie. Ich kann ja mal gucken, ob der gerade streamt. Aus irgendeinem Grund. Ich glaube nicht. Nee, ist off. Weil ich gebe ja auch nicht Vanessa Mod, ne? Also deswegen nimmt man es jetzt nicht so persönlich. Geil, ich kann sonst. Warte mal. Ich habe ja auf Stumm. Wie lang ging der Stream von dem letztens? Stunde 25. Ich glaube, ich schaue mir seinen Stream nachher mal an. So, es geht weiter. Finally. So. Kommen wir hier raus? Nee, ne? Gehen wir mal hier wieder rein.
I guess now I know why Mom didn't like me playing with the music box.
Das erklärt's wahrscheinlich, ja. Die Musikbox war hier hinten irgendwo. glaube, wir müssen jetzt die Musikbox...
It's funny. All those times I played with the music box and never found the basement key.
Kann Vanessa mir mal bitte keine Nachrichten über PSN schicken, während ich streame? Ich schreibe mal kurz. Kannst du mir, während ich streame, nicht eine Nachricht über PSN schicken? Weil, also, du kannst auch by the way zugucken, ne? Das Spiel ist ja geil. Alex guckt auch die ganze Zeit zu. Jedenfalls weißt du, dass dann so ein riesiger schwarzer Balken kommt. Im Stream. Ist halt ein bisschen doof. So.
A lot of things got left behind in the whirlwind of that last night.
Ich spiele heute circa 2 Stunden, denke ich mal, wie immer. Vielleicht aber auch länger, kommt drauf an. Aber mit 1, 2 Pausen dazwischen. Ich muss einmal die Spieluhr finden. Ich weiß nämlich gerade gar nicht mal, wo die war. Hört man mich eigentlich laut genug? Okay, perfekt. Ah, hier. Aha. Frage: Hätte man das von Anfang an schon tun können? Und damit einfach die komplette Story skippen können? Ich glaube ja nicht. Mhm. Sehr interessant. Sven.
Mom said the basement was off limits, unless I wanted another tetanus shot.
Oh.
I saw Edie sneak down to the basement once, carrying packages. I thought maybe she was hiding presents. It turned out she was hiding a lot more than that. I remember asking Mom once about where Walter had gone. She said after Barbara died, he got as far away as he could.
Wir haben einfach einen ganzen Bunker, Alter.
If there's a pattern in all these stories, I think it's that none of us has gotten very far.
Er wurde ein bisschen älter als die anderen. 53? Ja, ne? 53 müssen es sein. Wow, einfach so ein gemaltes Bild. Aber ganz ehrlich, würde ich mich in einem Bunker verschanzen und so weiter, Ich würde genau das gleiche haben, um so ein bisschen das Gefühl wenigstens zu haben, dass da draußen noch Natur ist irgendwie. Wir sehen seine Geschichte jetzt, glaube ich.
Goodbye, everyone. I can't believe I've been down here for 30 years. On that first day, after the shaking started, I didn't think I'd survive a week.
1968.
But after a few days, I settled into a routine. That's what kept me sane. Having a schedule, living for today. I always expected to be dead tomorrow. But if you wait long enough, you get used to anything.
1776, ein paar Jahre später.
Even a monster on the other side of the door starts to feel normal. Almost friendly. And then one day, everything just
2005.
stopped.
30 Jahre später.
Whatever that thing was, it was gone. Maybe it got tired of waiting. Or maybe I just got tired of being afraid. It's been a week now, the longest in 30 years. I'm done waiting. I have to leave. Well, I still can.
Kannst du den?
I know it's out there, somewhere. Whatever killed Barbara.
Wer war Barbara jetzt nochmal? Die von den Monstern getötet wurde, oder ist die erste? Von den Monstern, ne?
Und Calvin.
Okay, der hat sehr viel Tode gesehen.
Maybe this is all a mistake. But I need to stop living the same day, even if it kills me. Whatever's out there, I want you to know I'm ready for it. I'm going to appreciate all of it, especially the food. I don't mind if I only have a year left, or a month, or a single week. I'd be happy with one more day. I can already imagine the sun on my face.
Nicht schön.
Walter died when I was 6. I can't believe my mom never told me he was down here.
Er hat 30 Jahre da unten verbracht, nur um am Ende des Tages von einem Zug überrollt zu werden. Wow.
I'm sure my mom was trying to protect me. Maybe she was afraid I'd end up like Walter. But if she never told me about an uncle under the house, I can only imagine what else she was hiding. I don't want to make the same mistakes she made.
Das ist einfach der ganze Müll, über die 30 Jahre versammelt hat.
Trying to bury something that's still alive. Now that there's only one of us left, or maybe two, I thought it was time I heard the stories for myself and found out what happened to everyone else. But now I'm worried the stories themselves might be the problem. Maybe we believed so much in a family curse, we made it real.
Oh, was? Können wir hier runter? Nee. Ist einfach... Hier fährt keine Bahn mehr. Warum können wir nicht einfach da hinten hinschwimmen, hinschiffen, einfach unser Leben leben?
I don't know if I should even be writing this. Maybe it'd be better if all this just died with me. But I thought you should know about your family. And the history you're a part of.
Ist eigentlich wunderschön hier, ne?
Though to be honest, I feel as lost as you probably do right now. I think the people in these stories believed them, for what that's worth.
Ah.
And when you look at the house, that history of imagination and stubbornness and madness, any of it seems possible. I think we've been surrounded by death for so long, we've just gotten used to it. What kind of family finishes building a cemetery before starting the house?
Ähm, ähm, wir können jetzt aber nicht hier runterspringen, oder? Wir müssen jetzt nicht da runterspringen, oder? Nein, müssen wir nicht. Holy shit.
It's embarrassing for me to admit this, but the pet cemetery made me more uncomfortable than the human one. 3 of the gerbils were mine, and 2 had been my fault.
Durfee Junior, Burpee, Chirpy, Floppy, Lurpy, Zirpy, Zoe, Coco, Taka, Charlie, Daisy, Lucy. Lucy anscheinend ein Hund. Hat trotzdem 10 Jahre gelebt, ne? Charlie die Katze. 14 Jahre. Noch ein Hund. 4 Jahre. Ein Hase, okay, da weiß ich, wie lange die normalerweise leben. Noch eine Katze, 10 Jahre. Schatzi ist auch toll. Der Fisch Christopher. 5 Jahre. Und irgendwann haben die Jahreszahlen auch gar nicht mehr aufgeschrieben.
Sven built the house, but it was Edie who designed the cemetery.
Molly war die erste, die gestorben ist, von der wir der Geschichte erfahren haben. Calvin wird auch nur 11. Sven haben wir gesehen. Und jetzt war gar nicht Sven, ne? Walter, Barbara.
I'm sure Odin's monument had been Edie's idea. My mom was always trying to move on, but for Edie, the past never went away. She could see it poking out of the water at low tide.
Oh.
Edie said she dreamed about the old house every night.
Das ist das Haus, das untergegangen ist.
Edie's side was always easier for me to understand. But the older I get, the more I can see where my mom was coming from.
Gregory, 1 Jahr alt. Wow.
Her dad had been pretty strict, but it wasn't enough to save her brothers. She was just trying to do better.
33. Steht hier noch was? Nein.
She lost 2 of her brothers, just like I did. I get why she tried so hard to protect us. We never found Milton's body, so my mom insisted we were putting up a monument, not a tombstone.
Ist doch alles scheiße, Alter.
There's so many things I wish I could ask my mom now. Part of me thinks this is what she wanted all along. For me to come back someday and find everything out for myself. But looking back on it now, if she told me there was going to be so much climbing, I never would have come when I was 22 weeks pregnant.
Okay. Vorsichtig.
I never met Grandpa Sam, but I think he and my mom had a lot in common. They were both pretty intense. Sam spent his life shooting photos, but Mom said he got nervous being in front of the camera. I guess we're all afraid of something.
Dass die Bilder auch aber realistisch sein müssen, ne? Das macht's halt irgendwie dann noch trauriger, als es eigentlich ist. Hier sehen wir die Geschichte jetzt von jemand anderes. Oder?
Dawn,
Ja.
I promise, you'll never forget this weekend.
Yes, sir.
These memories are gonna last a lifetime.
Am I gonna have to shoot anything?
It's a hunting trip, Dawn. Perfect.
It's gonna rain the whole weekend, isn't it? Please just take the damn picture.
Hey, language.
Did you want to get a picture of me or what?
Achso, ja, aber wo stehst du denn? Ach, da.
I will never forget this weekend, Dad.
That's the spirit. Okay, got it.
I'm gonna take some pictures, okay?
Just be careful. The camera's older than you are.
You're right, Dad. It's starting to clear up. Still freezing, though.
Einfach ein paar Fotos machen, oder?
Definitely should not have drunk all that coffee.
Hey!
That's a keeper.
Nice.
I'm just saying, I'm not always gonna be here, Don. You'll need to remember this stuff, if you want to survive.
I'll be fine, Dad.
You know who else thought he was gonna be fine?
Some guy who died.
Don, I'm being serious.
I know, Dad. You're always serious. Doesn't being out here make you want to chill out?
Well, to tell you the truth, I haven't been out here in 20 years.
Dad!
Good eyes, Don. Before you take the shot, let me get a picture of it.
Dad, I...
Just breathe. Turn off your imagination. Focus on your target. Let me get behind you.
Do I have to do this?
Don, you don't have to do anything. Great shot, Don!
Ernsthaft?
I'm proud of you, Don. Always remember that, okay?
Dad, it's twitching. I think
That's
it's
totally normal, Don. Just focus on the camera. Try not to think about...
Dad!
Das habe ich nicht erwartet.
Of all these stories, that's the one I wish most that my mom had told me.
Alter. Ich glaube, wir können das sogar durchspielen heute, ne? Scheint nicht so lange zu gehen.
Instead of hiding from death, Sam seemed to go out of his way to meet it.
Ich hoffe, die war schon tot, als er das gemacht hat. Falls es eine ausgestopfte ist. Muss ich nicht hier dann? Wieder lächelt. Was muss ich dann machen? Ah.
After Sam died, my mom and Edie got really close. They'd both lost a lot.
Alter. Einfach so ein Babykopf, der da rausguckt. Junge. Aber nee, überhaupt nicht witzig. Aber es sah halt gerade verstörend aus. No, ich wollte es lesen.
Dear Kay, do you remember the way Gregory used to laugh when he thought he was alone? Like something funny was happening, but only he could see it. think he saw things the rest of us don't.
Okay.
That's over, Gregory. It's time to... Hold on, sweetie. Hello? Sam, I told you I don't want to talk right now.
I wonder what he saw.
Ente.
He reminded me so much of Calvin. Lost in his imagination.
Ist irgendwas, was wir machen müssen? Dann müssen wir einfach nur abwarten. Oh!
It sure made him happy.
Ja, was müssen wir machen? War alles runterschmeißen? Ja. Was steht da? Mach das eh runter! Hallo! Okay. Trophäe erhalten, Gregory. Ich wusste, dass es so eine Trophy gibt. Oh, I see.
I know how silly it sounds. But I worried about a baby being too happy. But I could feel him slipping away.
Sorry about that, Gregory.
I know you did everything you could. Maybe if I hadn't called that night.
Damn it. I don't want Gregory to hear this.
I wish he could have told us. About the world he saw. There's so much I don't understand. About Gregory. About everything. But I know what happened wasn't your fault. sure he's happy. And he'd want you to be happy too. Good luck, Kay. Love, Sam.
Oh mein Gott! Ein Jahr nur. 5 fehlen uns noch. Ich denke, das können wir heute noch zu Ende machen. Holy shit. Die arme Mutter, das arme Kind.
I can't imagine my mom ever writing poetry, and yet...
A poem for Gus, who always said the wedding was a bad idea. Our father never hit us kids, at least not very hard, before the day my brother said with teenage disregard that he'd be dead before he'd see a wedding in our yard. My father made him come, of course, but Gus stood far apart, just flew his kite and bottled up the storm inside his heart. I tried to talk him out of it, but though he'd never met her, we don't need a stepmom were the words that
I now pronounce you husband and wife. You may kiss the bride.
When the time for photos came, Dad ordered him to come here. But Gus declined and as a sign held up his middle finger.
Stark.
The wind picked up and panicked geese appeared and quickly went. But all the humans did that day was go inside the tent. Rain came down in buckets then, but no one seemed afraid that nature might destroy the tent our dad had crudely made.
Hör auf!
The thunder
Warum macht
sounded
ihr
much
das
too
denn?
close and full of angry power. But all my father said to this was, "Make the music louder." I wish that I could truly say I thought about you on that day. Out there on the beach alone, just you, the wind, the sea, and foam. But I didn't, until we found you.
Okay.
She never talked about him, but Mom told me once if I was a boy, they were going to name me Gus.
Niemals Drachen steigen lassen, wenn es gewittert. Ich kann überhaupt nichts lesen da drauf. Emergency. Excuse me. Aha. Trainingsplan. Weiter was übersehen.
My mom moved up to the loft after her brothers died. At the time, it was as far away as she could get.
Ja, kannst du ja. Zwing mich ja nicht zuzuschauen. Du hast 2 Storys verpasst. Wahrscheinlich dann. 2 Kinderstories.
Religion was another thing my mom never talked about, but I think it
Die
helped her
kamen
a
jetzt
while
direkt
after her dad
hintereinander.
died.
Waren nicht so spannend, aber musste dann trotzdem
She spent a
verpasst.
summer building houses in Calcutta, where she met my dad, Sanjay.
Ach so. Ja. 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 Jetzt bin ich verwirrt. Was muss ich machen? Ich hab gerade nicht zugehört. Ja, hier lang wahrscheinlich. Also die Storys, die wir gerade hatten, waren einmal wegen ihm hier. Er ist in der Badewanne ertrunken und er hier mit einem Drachen, also mit einem beim Drachensteigen kam ein Sturm auf und dann ist er halt, ja. Kann ich jetzt hier lang? Ja, das übersehe ich schon wieder. Muss ich wieder zurück? Nee, ne? Nee, ich muss nicht zurück. Ich hätte jetzt eh kurz Pause machen wollen, weil es ist wieder eine Stunde vergangen. Eine rauchen und so. Aber erstmal will ich jetzt gucken, was wir jetzt verpasst haben, weil irgendwas haben wir übersehen. Das letzte war hier. Hier haben wir nichts übersehen, glaube ich. Ah, okay, hier müssen wir.
My mom moved to India a week after graduation and got a job teaching English. Louis was born a year later. When my dad died, I don't think Mom knew where else to go. I'm sure Edie was happy to have her back.
Minze, Thymian, das weiß ich gerade nicht, Basilikum.
And to see kids in the house again. The house had to get a little bigger, but Edie was used to that. And for a while, things were good. Almost normal.
Das ist unser Tisch, ne?
But it didn't last. beginning of the end was Milton's 10th birthday, when Edie gave him a castle. After Milton disappeared, the only thing he left behind was a room full of paintings.
Okay, und niemand weiß, was mit Milton passiert ist. Milton. Und hier ist seine Story.
Milton Finch in The Magic Paintbrush.
Okay.
I was 4 when Milton disappeared.
Das war Miltons Story. Er verschwand einfach durch ein Gemälde vielleicht. Game of Thrones.
Mom spent months searching for my brother. Then she sealed the doors. Whatever Milton had found in the house, Mom didn't want it getting out.
Wir müssen einmal rum. Ich dachte, wir kommen auch hier lang. Wait, haben wir was verpasst? Ich glaube, wir haben was verpasst. Wir gehen nochmal zurück, weil normalerweise redet die längst weiter. Nur sicherheitshalber, nicht, dass wir jetzt, weiß ich nicht, wohin gehen, weißt du? Gehen wir mal nochmal rein. In seinem Bett war nichts.
I think Edie was happy to finally have another painter in the family.
Ja. Was ist jetzt? Ich weiß es nicht. Hier ist gerade tatsächlich zum ersten Mal nicht so einfach zu wissen, wann es weitergeht. Seine Geschichte haben wir gemacht. Nee, gibt es nichts weiter. Ich denke, wir haben hier doch alles. Gehen wir noch einmal hier hin jetzt. Ich weiß, dass wir das gerade doppelt machen, aber wird sicher gehen. Oh, wir müssen hier hoch. Okay. Ganz ehrlich, würde ich mich nie in echt trauen, hier
Mom
noch
definitely
hochzugehen.
blamed Edie, but I think Louis blamed himself.
Wollte eigentlich kurz Pause machen, ne?
After he graduated, he just spent more and more time in his room. Until Mom got him a job at the cannery.
Louis.
Everyone was told me to stay out of Louis's room.
Trophäe erhalten, ein näherer Blick. Da ist die Shisha. Weed. Okay. Könnte mein Zimmer vor ein paar Jahren sein.
Louis's room smelled very, very familiar. That part of him lived on.
Sehr geiles Zimmer.
He was so proud of being Indian. I think for him, it was a way to be something other than just a Finch.
High School auch. Diploma.
Louis and I spent a lot of time playing games together, but he was surprisingly bad at them. He died a lot.
Nun. Ich glaube, hier ist Louis' Story. Und ich mache einmal kurz Pause davor. Ich rauche kurz eine. Und danach machen wir seine Story. Dann hören wir uns seine Story an. Mal schauen. Hast du mein Handy, ne? Oh shit. Ich sollte mal was essen, glaube ich. Obwohl, ich habe gestern gegessen. Und wieder unbeliebt gemacht. Ah, schade. Ja, soll ich das riechen oder was? Mann. Ich komme gleich wieder. Huch. So. Ich bin wieder da. Ich hoffe, du bist auch da. Es geht jetzt weiter. Sollten wir das doch schaffen, durchzuspielen, auf jeden Fall danach noch was ausprobieren. Nämlich ganz am Anfang konnte man noch einen anderen Weg gehen und den würde ich gerne gehen. Weil da wollte ich eigentlich lange als erstes, aber hab's dann halt nicht gemacht, weil ich wusste am Anfang nicht, dass es dieses Spiel ist. Ich kenne dieses Spiel, aber ich habe es schon mal bei jemand gesehen auf YouTube, mir angeguckt, aber ich habe es halt nie wirklich angeguckt, sondern ich habe es halt kurz angehabt und dann halt auch wieder ausgemacht. Ja. Weil ich hatte am Anfang mega Schiss, ohne Scheiß. Ich dachte gleich kommt Jumpscare ein nach dem anderen. Aber ist zum Glück nicht so. Weil als in den Text Horror drin stand, dachte ich mir halt so, ja, aber nee, ist ja zum Glück nicht so. Ja, okay, machen wir mal weiter. Was müssen wir jetzt hier machen? Ach so, genau, hier. Die Story von Dawn Finch.
Dear Mrs. Finch, as Lewis's psychiatrist, I can understand your desire for an explanation. As I see it, the trouble began in January, shortly after we convinced your son to seek treatment for substance abuse. Newly sober, I believe Lewis first noticed the monotony of his daily life. He kept working at the canyon, but he withdrew part of himself. In our sessions, I saw the same behavior. His mind began to
Ja.
wander.
So.
I asked him to describe it.
Du musst jetzt zwei Sachen gleichzeitig machen.
He said he started small.
Zum Glück bin ich
Imagining a labyrinth,
multitaskingfähig.
he'd feel his way about.
Ich glaube, ich weiß, was passiert.
Then something moved. Bats. And toads. And things that have not names. He knew it was all in his head. He took it very seriously. I had hoped he'd find himself. But he found something more. I worried about him then. Daydreaming at the cannery. I spoke with his boss. But he said Lewis had become a model employee. Methodical, tireless, focused. Like a whole new Lewis. So I let him go on. I even encouraged him. It seemed very promising at first. He told me he'd made a new friend. on the edge of a city he named Lewis Topia. He built the city up slowly, brick by brick. Then he made musicians. And songs for them to play. He talked about starting a band. And he was always humming something. Every day his imagination grew stronger. He no longer spoke at the cannery. But his chopping was as reliable as ever. Then one day it struck him that all the cheering crowds, even the stones under his feet, were all in his imagination. So he could do whatever he wished. He held an election for mayor. And he won. They begged him to stay, but his mind was already wandering. It became a game for him. He'd conquer a city, then immediately push on. New Louisville. St. Louis.
St. Louis gibt's dabei in echt auch.
He started drifting away from our reality. Minneapolis, until one day he forgot to go home from the cannery. Even as his mother pleaded with him, part of Louis kept sailing on. In Louisburg, he heard rumors of
eine hübsche Königin.
Handsome queen. The queen was on her own quest for
Finsteren Schlangen, komm.
Sinister serpents.
Bad.
He followed the sound of her
Ja, doch, komm.
silver harp.
Hier gibt es safe auch eine Trophy für irgendeinen Weg und so weiter.
His chase led him to a golden palace east of the sun and west of the moon. Even then, his logic remained sound.
Oh mein Gott, wir sehen nicht mehr.
He knew the world was all in his imagination. But he was so proud of having created it. In his own eyes, he'd become something greater than a king. For someone who'd never known success in the real world, I think it was overwhelming. And then it struck him that the real Louis was not the one chopping salad, but the one climbing the steps of a golden palace. My imagination is as real as my body, he told me. It was hard to argue with him.
Okay. Ich würde mal dazu sagen, das ist halt einfach, das passiert auch tagtäglich, ne? Sowas passiert tagtäglich, vor allem in
Began to forget the world we know.
Großhandlungen.
I think it pained him to remember Lewis, the cannery worker. He began to despise the man with a royal contempt.
Boah, das ist echt hart, ne? Er ist so vertieft, aber die Bewegung ist trotzdem noch da.
I still thought I could save him. Even after he said he was being crowned king over all the lands of wonder. The palace would be packed with his companions. Including the wise Calico who had insisted on inviting him. His queen waited, holding his crown. There was only one thing left to do. Bend down his head.
Wir wissen doch alle, was passiert.
And the rest I think you know. Mrs. Finch, your son was a kind man who will be missed by all of us who knew him.
Holy shit.
My brother was really cool. I wish you could have met him.
Okay, aber es fehlen noch 2, ne? 3. Wait. Es fehlen noch welche. Aber wir sind jetzt schon oben angelangt, ne? Irgendwas habe ich wieder übersehen. Gibt es hier sonst noch irgendwas?
On the way back from Lewis's funeral, my mom told me to start packing. She waited until the day before we left to tell Edie. I'm not sure if she wanted to make it easier or harder. I wish we'd stayed. But I understand why we left.
Mhm. Okay. Von wem ist das jetzt die Story? Von ihrer Mutter? Vielleicht? Ja, da stand Mom auf dem Dingenskirchen. Auf dem Kühlschrank.
My mom ended up leaving everything behind. What happened that night had been coming for a long time. Maybe it should have come sooner.
Vielleicht, ja. Aber was alles nicht passiert wäre, wenn man früher gekommen wäre.
But it had to end one way or another. All that's left now is to tell you about that last night.
Geschichte von Edith. Unsere. Das sind wir. Wir schreiben unsere Geschichte.
That whole last day, Edie just watched us pack and didn't say a word. Until supper, when she raised her glass and said,
"To our final night together, and all our final nights apart."
Grandma, you know what I said about alcohol. Some of your medications are very
Edith,
specific.
I left a present for you in the hallway. Why don't you go open it? The grown-ups have to argue now.
I'm sorry, you're right. We're all leaving tomorrow. Let's just enjoy our last...
I'm not leaving.
Edith, you're excused.
The power had been shut off that morning, but Edie always had plenty of candles. When my mom sealed the library, I don't think she knew about the other entrance. Or that Edie had a key to it.
That thing you're afraid of isn't going to end when you leave the house.
Wait, hold on.
Edith has a right to know these stories.
So.
My children are dead because of your stories. I think it's best if Edith and I leave tonight. We'll have the nursing home send a van for you in the morning. Okay?
Die Geschichte von Eddie.
Dear Edith, there's so many stories I wish I could tell you. There's only time for one. This is about what happened on the night you were born. That night, the tide went way, way out.
I see.
It was the first and last time I ever saw the old house aground. There'd been an earthquake out in the middle of the ocean. They called it the lowest tide in 1,000 years. God, it smelled awful. You know, I've seen that house every day of my life. But I never thought I'd go back to it. When the fog rolled in, I lost my way.
Lauf doch jetzt einfach zurück. Ich kenne den Weg noch, vertrau mir.
I got turned around.
Ich würde jetzt so gerne einfach
For a
zurücklaufen.
while, I wandered. I started seeing things. Things I'd forgotten had ever existed. But when I saw them, they felt like old friends. That night, a lot of things came back to me. Or maybe I came back to them. Things I can't explain, but that I need you to try and...
Edith, what are you doing in here?
It's mine.
Edith!
Mom, you're gonna rip it! Let go! I kicked and screamed, but Mom dragged me to the car.
Und?
I never saw Great-Grandma Edie again. The next morning, the band came to pick her up, but she was already gone. After that, we moved around a lot.
Immer gemacht, immer.
We both tried to make the best of it. A few years went by. My mom didn't like to talk about it. But she started getting sick a lot. The rest happened pretty quickly. She got better for a while, and then she didn't. And then I was alone. The last Finch left alive. Until I found out about you. I'm still not sure what to tell you about all this. If we lived forever, maybe we'd have time to understand things. But as it is, I think the best we can do is try to open our eyes. And appreciate how strange and brief all of this is. This journal was supposed to be for you. But now I hope you'll never see it.
Oh, sie hat ja mal gesagt, dass sie schwanger
I just
ist.
want to meet you and tell you all these stories myself. But I guess if you're reading this now, things didn't work out that way. This is where your story begins. I'm sorry I won't be there to see it. It's a lot to ask, but I don't want you to be sad that I'm gone. I want you to be amazed that any of us ever had a chance to be here at all. Good luck.
Alter, ich hab Tränen in den Augen. Ich heul gleich, Junge. Trophäe erhalten, das Ende von allem. Boah. Ich hab meinen ganzen Körper Gänsehaut und hab Tränen in den Augen. Ich könnt heulen, Alter. Wo ich auch noch heulen könnte, ist, dass genau beim Ende mein Akku leer ging und so ein schwarzer Balken kam. Sie hat das Tagebuch einfach für ihren Sohn geschrieben, ne? Sie hat ja gesagt, sie war schwanger. Trophäe erhalten, danke Johann. Okay. Einfach noch eine Trophäe. Tu mir das doch nicht an, Alter. Einfach nur holy shit. Gut, das war's. Das war das Spiel. Und Alex, wie fandest du's? Scheiße, Alter. Ich wusste gerade am Ende einfach, was gerade passiert. Und es wird immer wahrer, was ich mir gerade gedacht habe. Und es wird immer und immer wahrer. Und es war immer und immer mehr emotional einfach. Bist du noch da, Alex? Alex ist nicht da. Ah. Scheiße, Alter. Warum tust du mir das an? The End. Spieloption Geschichte wiederholen im Konsolenspiel. Die Option Geschichte wiederholen steht dir zur Verfügung. Wähle Edith, um von Anfang an durchzuspielen. Holy shit, Alter. Alex, wenn du jetzt schon wieder das Ende verpasst hast, ne? Ich hasse dich. Okay. Das war das Spiel What Remains of Edith Finch. Ich hoffe, ihr fand es genauso emotional wie ich. Und okay. Jedenfalls ein richtig geiles Spiel. Ich hoffe, es hat euch genauso emotional mitgenommen, vor allem das Ende wie mich. Und ja, dann war es jetzt hier. Ciao YouTube. Und bis zum nächsten Spiel. Ich freue mich, euch wiederzusehen. Bis dann. So, was passiert, wenn ich jetzt noch weitergehe? Oh. Ah, nee. Das ist genau der gleiche Anfang.
A lot of this isn't going to make sense to you, and I'm sorry about that. I'm just going to start at the beginning, with the house.
Okay, ich gucke jetzt einmal kurz, wohin mich der zweite Weg geführt hätte.
I lived here until I was 11, but I wasn't allowed inside half the rooms.
1000 Mal, let's go. Und danach beende ich den Stream für heute. Weil habe ich das Spiel durchgespielt.
I hadn't been back
Ich
since my
hasse
brother
alles.
Lewis's funeral. In her will, my mother left me a key but didn't tell me what it unlocked.
Ist auch noch Rust Clash. Ja. Ist ja auch ein 1000er Ring.
Maybe she thought I'd know. Or she thought the
Und
mystery
zwar wollte ich
didn't
jetzt
have
einmal
to
hier
be
lang.
that.
Ich wollte wissen, was es hier unten gibt. Gibt's hier nichts? Gar nichts? Muss doch was geben, oder?
The truth is, even after I inherited the house, I never thought I'd come back to it.
Ist das so ein alternativer Weg dahin?
But now I had questions about my family that only the house knew the answers to.
Ja, ne? Ist so ein alternativer Weg dahin. Ob es hier irgendwas Cooles zu finden gibt? Glaube nicht, ja. Norch.
The woods around the house have always been uncomfortably silent.
Trophäe halten, alle
As if
Wege.
they're
Ja,
allowed to say
wenigstens das noch.
something, but never do.
Kann ich nicht lang. Ja, okay, das ist so ein alternativer Weg zum Haus. Tatsächlich. Genau. Normalerweise kommen wir von da. Dann ist es das gewesen. Dann ist es das gewesen. Ich bedanke mich fürs Zuschauen. Und ja, bis zum nächsten Mal. Bis zum nächsten Stream mit einem nächsten richtig coolen Spiel. Diesmal wird es nicht emotional, das nächste Spiel, das habe ich mir schon vorgenommen. Ich weiß, welches ich als nächstes spiele. Das ist eher cool. Ja, deswegen nächstes Mal wird es nicht so emotional, dass ich bald heule einfach. Danke fürs Zuschauen und bis zum nächsten Mal. Tschüss.